Welcome to Pick Up and Deliver, the podcast where I pick up my audio recorder as I step off the train and deliver an episode to you while I walk home. I'm Brendan Riley. Well, good evening, listeners. It's a lovely, brisk December evening. The walk home is going to be full of twinkly lights because the holiday lights are all up on everybody's houses, and it's going to be a pleasant walk home, even if it is a little chilly. So I was thinking about what I should talk to you about today, and I remembered a text I got this morning that maybe said to me, hey, this will make a good topic, and sure enough it did. The text said, streak broken. So this was a text from my friend Eric, with whom I play games regularly. He and I play games in person about once every 3 or 4 months, maybe. Either we'll play at Toggle Gaming occasionally, or there'll be a time when I can get over to his house to play games. I don't recall if he's ever been able to make it to my house to play games. I don't invite people over to my house to play games that often, whereas he has people over every week. And every now and again, I'll have a weekend free, usually where Jenny has gone out of town with my daughter to a swim meet, and that leaves me sort of kicking around on my own or with my son. And so I'll ask him and he'll be like, yeah, you can go play a game, that's fine, because he has something else to do or whatever. So then I'll go play games with Eric. But like I said, it's a relatively rare occasion that I play with him in person. However, we do play online somewhat more frequently. Maybe once a month I will join him on a Sunday morning to play a game through Tabletop Simulator or Board Game Arena. Or lately we've been playing some games asynchronously. We started out playing one game at a time, playing Obsession, and now we're running 3 games simultaneously. We're playing Obsession, Anachrony, and Gaia Project. And we're kind of cycling those, so playing them, we finish one, we rack up another. So getting lots of plays in with him. Eric is categorically better than I am at games, generally. I still win some. I wouldn't say I lose as consistently to him as I lose to Ray Greenlee. Hi, Ray. But I do lose pretty regularly to Eric. And I was reflecting on this the other day, that it felt like I was losing a lot lately. And he texted me and said, wow, you're having a rough streak. I was 0-7 on games against him, which is a lot. And then this morning I won a game of Anachrony. Pretty good too. I think 72-65, which is a decent win. And so the streak was broken. But it got me thinking about a pattern I have, which is that I will enjoy a game and be bad at it. And I'll find a friend who doesn't mind playing over and over again, even though I don't present a challenge because they win most of the time. The archetype of that in this podcast would be Ray Greenlee and my very long run playing Through the Ages, where I believe we played 94 games of it before I beat him. And now he and I don't play all that often, but when we were playing more, I was winning 1 out of 4. So once I sort of figured it out, then I was doing better. But I've been thinking about games that I played regularly online, or games that I play regularly where my win percentage is terrible, but I still have fun and play them a lot. So there's a couple where my win percentage is reasonable, but I feel like I'm not that good at the game. So what I want to talk about today is games I stink at, is kind of the subject. It's the title of the episode, Games I Stink At. And the idea is these are games that I, for whatever reason, have trouble getting to gel together in a way that I can perform reasonably well at them. And I would say performing reasonably well is playing with a group of relatively evenly matched competitors. I should win my share of the games, which is, 4-player game, you're winning a 25% win ratio is your share. Now, a lot of the people I play heavy games with are better at heavy games than I am. My friend Jason, my friend Dave, my other friend Jason, my friend Eric, my friend Ray, my friend Chris, they're all, I think, better than me at most games. Now, there's some games where I do better, and some games where I kind of hold my own. You know what? There's a game I forgot to put on here. Maybe I haven't played it enough times to have it be on here, but an honorable mention, which you'll see when it comes up why it fits, is A Few Acres of Snow. That's a game I'm terrible at, but I haven't played it enough times to have it make this list. And mostly I play it with Wes or another Jason Kegs, who listens to the podcast. Hi, Wes. Hi, Jason. They both give me drubbings in A Few Acres of Snow occasionally. So I wanted to talk about this weird pattern I have. So I would say like my through the ages win percentage is actually not that bad now. It's 24% is my win percentage on through the ages, which is pretty good considering that against one opponent I went 0-94. But I have started playing it with other people and I tend to win half those games roughly. So I do better on that one. Another game where I should have a higher percentage than I do is Agricola. My win percentage is 29%. The bulk of my plays of Agricola are against one opponent, Kevin. Hi, Kevin. I think he listens to the podcast sometimes. And according to my stats, Kevin wins 70% of the games of Agricola that we play. So Kevin is demonstrably better at Agricola than I am. But I feel like I understand Agricola. I'm not good at it, but I understand it. Through the ages, I'm not good at it, but I understand it. There's also Castles of Burgundy, which for a long time I didn't feel like I really understood, but now I do feel like I understand it. That's 31% win ratio, which is actually, that's fair, because I almost never am playing Castle of Burgundy 2-player. I'm always playing 3 or 4, in which case a 31% win percent is about my fair share, maybe even a little above. And then there's Tzolk'in, which is a game I used to play a lot. I don't play that much anymore. When I was playing it, I played 18 games of it and my win percentage was 22%. So again, that's pretty close to that 25, which is except I'm often playing Tzolk'in 2-player, so 22% is garbage for that. One game that I seem to be getting worse at, or I should say, it turns out I wasn't really that good at to begin with, is Motainai. So Motainai is a game that I really, really like. It plays relatively quick. It's usually like 5 or 6 rounds maybe, sometimes up to 10, sometimes shorter. And for a long time I was playing Motainai regularly with Chris, and now I'm playing a lot with Jason Kegs. And my win percentage at Motainai is 31%. I would say most of the wins I have at Motainai, though, are at the table with other people. When I'm playing online, I lose way more often than I win. In fact, I went a really long time without winning a game against Jason. I think I went 0-14. I may have won one now. I think I did get one, finally. But it was a long time coming. And since then, I've lost 2 more. So Motainai is one I seem to be getting worse at. Or Jason is just very good at it and I'm not. Either way. And then the 3 that are the worst, my 3 worst games in terms of win percentage. I have 29 plays of Gaia Project, 18 plays of Great Western Trail, and 18 plays of Clans of Caledonia. Listen to these stats. Gaia Project, 29 plays, 10% win ratio. That means in roughly 30 plays, I've won 3 games. That is outrageously bad. What's interesting about that, though, is that I feel like I do understand all the mechanisms of the game. My problem is, somehow, I don't really conceive of where the points come from, or I don't know how to connect the mechanisms to points in a way that I can consistently win. Occasionally I'll win, but it feels like I just sort of happen upon a win by getting the right combination of things. I don't really know how to pull the levers and push the levers in a way that makes me win. So Gaia Project, these last 3 that I'm talking about now, I've played enough times that I feel like if I were going to get better on my own, I would. So it's time to do a little reading, find out how do people do well at these games, see if I can start to get better with a little bit of research. Now it's interesting, I posted a thread a while ago about this because I was curious at what point other people do that. Some people are like, I never do that. I explore it on my own. And I feel like that's the sort of thing that people who are really good at games say. Like if you're really good at games and you figure them out on your own, great. But I really like a game. I want to do better at it. I want to be an interesting opponent. So that means I need to be competitive. But right now, at 29 plays of Gaia Project, if I were going to get competitive on my own, I would have. So that means I really need to do a little time thinking about what is it, where do the points come from? How do I get there? How do I change my play such that I'm going to do better? Because right now, I feel like I'm not really, I might as well be a bad AI for my opponents to play against. And they keep playing me, and I appreciate that. But at some point, it's not fun to win when your opponent isn't doing anything worthwhile. So, Gaia Project is one of those ones that I need to spend a little time reading about and learning to get better. All right, the second one, this is a game I have 18 plays of online, and I haven't played this for a while, so I'm out of touch. And interestingly, this game, you could argue, is very Gaia Project-like. Also, most of the plays I have of this game are 3-player, not 2-player, and the 2 people I play with are both much better at games than I am. I mentioned Ray Ray has a friend, Rich. Rich and I tend to play a lot of heavy games together, and we'll play 2 or 3 or 4 rounds of a game, then we'll play something else. And I very rarely win in that group. I think if I went and looked at my stats for wins against Rich and Ray, it's not double digits, I'm sure, percentage-wise. That probably skews it. Most of the games I've played of Clans of Caledonia are with Rich and Ray. They're both better than I am. And so it's not surprising that I don't do as well. But like Gaia Project and before it, Terra Mystica, Clans of Caledonia has a set of levers to pull that equal points. And my brain does not really want to understand how one leads to the other in a consistent way so I can win. If I were going to play Clans of Caledonia again, I would want to spend a little bit of time reading about how to do better at it. What are some basic strategies I should be following? See are there key things I'm missing from basic play that good players do that I'm not doing, because I'm pretty garbage at it. And now here's the great shame. This is a game I've played 18 times. I've played it in groups of 4. I've played it on the table 3 times, I think. I've played 2-player at least 10 times. And Eric and I are in a running game of it where we play it over and over again. Great Western Trail. I have never won in 18 plays, many of them 2-player. I've never won Great Western Trail. Now, I did at one point, before the last time I was invited to play it in person, I did go watch a video about how to play Great Western Trail well. And I did better in that game than I have ever done before. I think I got 3rd place out of 4. But since then, I have consistently done terribly in that game. And what's frustrating about it is, like, I feel like I am doing well, or it feels like I am doing what I should be doing. For instance, the last game of Great Western Trail I played that I completed, I decided to go for a train strategy. I was buying engineers. I was moving my train whenever I could. I was putting down discs in stations. I got further and further up the track. I took an objective card that said I had to get an 18-point sail. I got an 18-point sail. I was like, man, I am kicking it. I had all these discs up there in the selling area. Like, man, I am running the table. Nope, I lost. I've done ones where I'm building. I build like this elaborate network of buildings that are taxing other players as they're going by. I'm getting all this money. Feels like I'm doing it. Nope, lose. And not close games either. Like, I'm losing dramatically. I've read the rules. I understand how the scoring works. But somehow, when it comes to actually doing something so that I end up with a high score, I'm not getting there at all. So this is a strange part of being a gamer who likes heavy games, is that part of the fun of playing a heavy game is like doing well. Maybe part of the reason I like Vladimir Suchy games like Underwater Cities or Praga Kaput Regni is that I can win them occasionally. But I do like Great Western Trail. I think it's really neat. Gaia Project, I like it. I think it's really neat. Both of those games, I know I would like them better if I could win occasionally. Part of, I think, rather the reason I don't like Great Western Trail as much as I think I should is that I've literally never won. So, I am curious if you've been in this position, and people who are playing against me and beating me, I do not want you to pull punches. I want you to still win, because when I win, I want to have earned it. But I'm curious, for people who've been playing a game, you get to the point where you feel like you've discovered as much about it as you're going to discover without looking at strategy guides or without reading anything, but you like the game. What do you do? Because I guess I see it like if I were an athlete, I used to play tennis, and I had been playing tennis for a while and I kind of plateaued in my skill level, I would not consider it at all unreasonable to take some tennis lessons, hire a coach to help me get better. And I feel like reading strategy guides for games is a similar decision. So I'm curious, what have you done? What games have you found that you need to do that on? Head over to Board Game Geek Guild 3269 and share your stories, and hit me up for a game of one of these, especially if you're bad at them. No, I'm kidding. But the more plays, the faster I'll get better. So thanks for joining me on my walk today. I hope your next walk is as pleasant as mine was. Bye-bye.
Brought to you by Rattlebox Games.